Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. Today is the 8th of February, Thursday to be exact. And I'll tell you what, Disney is to the moon. Disney looking to gap up from the highs of yesterday, up about 8% overnight. Quite frankly, after the open yesterday, 10%. So big move for earnings after earnings with Disney. Even though the revenue was down there, their earnings were up 22% on this week or this month's earnings Wednesday the 7th. So it was after market close. So boy, I tell you what, Disney looking really good on the day. Stock market is looking to open, quite frankly, pretty flat on the day. And you're wondering why I might be saying that. It's because the market is not open yet. It's about 8:21 in the Central Time. Got about 9 minutes till the open, so the market's going to open up pretty flat. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a market update. We're going to look at crypto. We got HNT popping off a demand zone. Some of the currencies are moving really good. The Aussie yen doing some good stuff there. And we'll take a peek at a few other stocks and wrap it out for the day. So as we know, there's risk in trading and investing. You can and will lose money at one point in your life. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, mainly mine. But hopefully you find it entertaining as well. S&P 500 closed yesterday on Wednesday at 498.10, and we're going to open up right about there. Actually down just a couple cents, but who's counting? Can't even tell on a price chart. So the S&P 500 continuing that surge to the upside, moving up about, It doesn't really show much of a movement yesterday. It was up 0.8%, whoop-de-doo. But that being said, great move for the market, continuing to the upside as we talked about yesterday on the show. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, same story, but did not reach all-time highs yesterday. We were going to gap up ever so slightly with the Dow Jones. Closed yesterday and currently closed at 386.67. Looking to open up at 387.19. QQQ, that's your NASDAQ ETF exchange-traded fund, also at all-time highs as of yesterday, closing near the highs at 431.99 and looking to gap. Really, we're going to be flat today. Who am I kidding? It's not going to really gap much. Nothing to really speak about. We didn't talk about the IWM yesterday, but the IWM 193.22, the lagger of the major market indexes, still down on the year, or down from all-time highs. Hasn't reached that all-time high yet. Still down 20%, so the IWM lagging behind. As far as ETFs, let's look at oil since we look at that one. USO currently at closed at $69.42, looking to gap up at $70.21. So this one here is kind of stuck in a rut. Quite frankly, it's been the same price as it was exactly a year ago. Check that out. Price is almost exactly where it was a year ago. So not a whole lot of movement with USO. Let's look at gold and silver. Gold currently at $2,023 after a drop down in the last 2 days. It's kind of been stagnant and just kind of sitting that same mark for the last couple months here, $2,023.90. Silver, $22.23. And really choppy, just not a whole lot of things to look at with gold and silver. It's just been all over the place, which is interesting because the market's been going up, and that you would think that's a safe because that is typically a safe haven. It's really not following that all the time. It's not really following it, so just real choppy on gold and silver. Let's look at crude oil. Crude oil actual price or per barrel price sitting at $74.96. That's crude oil. Same story, really on that downward trajectory from that supply zone that we had called back in October. Well, let's see here. We got corn continuing that slide, just plummeting for a while now. Really since April of this past year, it's down about 40%. Let's see. Getting logged in my other platform so we can look at some options here. Hopefully this gets logged in. Maybe not. Okay, we will double check our data here. All right, so looking at, let's go to some stocks here. Oh, here we go. I had the wrong password. No wonder. That is why it was not taking. All right, maybe that one will take. Anyways, so Bitcoin currently at $45,000 and $45,070. We are coming out of that. It's been struggling to get past this $42,000 area. So we are looking at this, and we're seeing it pop to the upside from the lows of 38,000 back 2 weeks ago. Looking good for Bitcoin hodlers. HNT, as I mentioned at the beginning, popping out of a demand zone. HNT sitting at $7.21, coming out of that demand zone from 690 down to 647. So that's looking pretty good. As far as Helium token, Mobile token is popping up back up ever so slightly, very slow. It's been flat really ever since January 24th, but I do like this. I would love to see this go back to where it was at. I mean, if we can get to 1 cent, that would be a beautiful thing. U.S. dollar index, the Dixie, 104.31. Getting up to it's in no man's land, inside of our hesitation area, and I see this going up to 105. That being said, it's not correlating with the stock market. So we will adjust for that. Got a couple stocks here looking at implied volatility and percent Bollinger Band. I wish DocuSign was on here. Let's go look at DocuSign. DocuSign might be an opportunity for some potential movement. So DocuSign, yes, it is. We got an area down there. So DocuSign is low on the Bollinger Band, so that's suggesting that we go take a look at that. Volatility, not sure what the volatility is on. I have to see how that works. I think I can add something in there. Anyways, DocuSign, we'll go look at that later. So, looking at some other stocks. NVIDIA up 2.75 yesterday. So, we're about 2 minutes to the open. We're going to get to the open and then close out the show and watch the open here. But currently at $700. Wow. NVIDIA just surging, just continuing. I talked about a demand zone a while back. I don't think it's going to get back there anytime soon at 320. I wish it would, but that would be the story of the day if it actually did. Palantir up 7.9% yesterday, really surging from last week or so, up 50%. I do not know what happened there. Oh, they had good earnings. There you go. That is Palantir. Wrapping out the stocks since we got 1 minute to the open. Disney, that was it. That's what another one. Disney had a monster move to the upside. Where did Disney go? Up about, what was it? 20%, I think I said it was at the beginning here. 8%, sorry, 8 or 10%. Disney smashing earnings. That being said, they were a little bit short on the revenue, down 0.68% on revenue. So Disney just looking good. There was a lot of talk on Disney. Let's see what the news says about it. Market is open. If you hear the bell, opening bell. Disney is maintained by neutral by Mark Query. That's by Dow Jones Newswire's headline. Consumer stocks flat. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Disney stock is rising Thursday. What's going on? It says. That was 36 minutes ago. So this is what happens is the public sees this stuff, and the public is probably going to go buy today. I see Disney seeing a drop, opening up at 107.01. So I see that dropping today because the public might be trying to jump on late to the party, but we will continue to monitor that and see what happens with that. So market is open. Market is open very flat on the day. We will end the show here, and we do also love our subscribers and listeners on the Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. If you're listening on the Spreaker app, Spreaker, we do appreciate that for our Spreaker listeners. As always, collect your profits when they're given to you and protect your losses, keeping them small. Until next time, retire young, my friends.